How's it going, guys, and welcome to today's video. Today's probably the biggest day of the year on the ranch, as today we will be selecting replacement heifers, feeder steers, and then taking the rest of the calves to auction to finally get that once a year paycheck that we look forward to. That's what's going on today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. I came through earlier this morning and fed them at the manger here and locked them in the corral so that they would be a lot easier for me to get over into the working corral where we can separate them and do what we need to do. Now, in the past, you guys have seen me round up cows on a side-by-side, a four-wheeler, but let's be honest, the easiest way to catch cows is with food and making them want to go where you want them to go. Well, I guess it's time to get them in the working corral and get started. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on. Well, we've got everybody caught here in the working corral, and I guess now it's time to start making some decisions. There's a few in here that I know I will keep, and there's a few that I know I will get rid of. But other than that, yeah, we got some work to do. The first thing that I'm gonna do is, well, my plan is to get a load of calves that'll go to auction, just because there are more of them in here that will be going to auction, so it seems like that would be easier. But if whoever comes to the gate is somebody that I want to keep, I'm not going to miss that opportunity either, and I'll just take them on back. So let's just see how this goes. Number 11 there, that's Buddy's sister. So she is a free Martin heifer, and we don't want to keep her. Go on, girl. Okay, so I just wanted to run over here and count what we have. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. I'm thinking about 11 to a load, so we need 4 more. I don't think you see too good. All right, we got 11 here, so I guess we can get them in the trailer. That looks like a big load. All right, we got a pretty good load here, so let's hit the road and take them to Galt. Now that we got the first load of calves delivered to the auction, I'm going to go ahead and choose my replacement heifers and my feeder steers.
There are a few heifers in this group that I already knew I wanted, so I went ahead and sorted them off first. I really like this red white face heifer. In fact, she might be my favorite one in this group. Of course, this black Angus heifer, there's nothing wrong with her either. After getting all the replacement heifers and feeder steers sorted off, I took one final look at the group just to make sure that I was happy with everybody that I chose. And then I swapped the gate over and let them out back into their corral. Not a bad looking bunch, I'd say. With this group of calves happily back at their feed bunk, the rest of the calves left in the working corral could now get on the trailer and make the trip to the auction. I held my calves longer this year than I ever have before in an attempt to add more pounds to them and hopefully make more money. It won't be long now, and I'll find out if this decision paid off or not.
I wanted to get that second load of calves delivered before it got too late, just because I didn't want to be on the road. And I know that I kind of rushed through when I was selecting them, the ones that I was getting and why. So now that we're back at the ranch and done shipping cows for the day, let's take a walk through this pen and look at what we kept and talk about why. As we walk through this pen of calves, you guys will probably notice that I kept a lot of red calves or black white face. And the reason for that is because I'm relatively sure, especially with the red ones, that they were sired by the Hereford bull. And this year, I really wanted to kind of chase some genetic diversity, and getting those Hereford genetics into my herd was kind of my goal. That being said, there are some exceptions out here. I think I kept 2 solid black heifers that likely were out of the Angus bull that we had last year. But I don't know, man, when I look at them, they were just too good to let go on the trailer, so I had to keep them. Genetic diversity is important, especially in commercial herds, because the more chromosomal pairs that you have that come from different bloodlines, the more hardy the animal will be. This is known as hybrid vigor. I've discussed this a little bit before in my videos talking about breeds, but this year I had a great opportunity to increase the hybrid vigor in my herd, so I took advantage of it. But genetic diversity isn't the only thing, and in fact it probably was actually second to overall conformation and just the makeup of the animal. Overall size of the animal is pretty easy to distinguish, but I'm also looking at just the way that they're built. So for instance, these heifers one day are going to have calves of their own. So I want to try to make sure that they have wider frames. That would suggest that they have a wide pelvis that would be a lot more easy to pass a calf through. One of the reasons that I wanted to keep this black Angus heifer is because of her width. She's not very tall, but she's built pretty well. I also like to see big bodies on them. These 2 girls are pretty good examples here. They just have a lot of room there to grow a calf, and this heifer right here, she is so friendly. I might even be able to pet her. Temperament and disposition play a big role in my selection process as well. As you can see, most of these calves, I mean, they don't want me to hug on them, but they're perfectly fine with me standing out here and talking with them. This tripod that they've not really seen before that could be scary to them doesn't seem to bother them either. And I can walk through these girls, and as long as I'm not pushing them or trying to move them anywhere, they seem perfectly fine having me around, and I like that. This black steer right here is one of the feeder steers. Now, I think I mentioned before that I usually don't keep the biggest steers to feed out because I like to take those to the auction and get paid for them. So I'll try to select a guy like this that's a little bit smaller, but I mean, everything is there that I like to see. To me, he looks like a good steer. He's just a bit smaller. So odds are he was born later, or maybe his mom didn't give as much milk. I don't see any reason why he shouldn't grow just fine once he gets going on feed. This little red guy is another feeder steer, and kind of the same as that black one over there. He's not very big. I mean, he's a good, what I would call medium-sized steer, but he's put together pretty well. And I think once he has a year of grazing and then finishing off with some hay at the end, he ought to be just fine. I am certainly not a livestock judge, and people that know how to do that might disagree with a lot of the things that I've said here. But really what it comes down to for me, after disposition, genetic diversity, and those few traits that I do look for, like wide hips and big bodies in the heifers, a lot of it really just comes down to eye appeal. I mean, you can take one look at any one of these calves and you know instantly if you like them or not. Sometimes we can't always explain what it is that we like about them, but you just know. I'm going to leave this group of calves penned up until I get a chance to process them, and then at that point they can go back out on grass. Thanks for hanging out at the ranch with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.